Testing. Good afternoon. My name is Destiny Williams. I'm a school counselor and a LGPC working in the inner city school setting, more specifically Baltimore City Public Schools. I'm in my office. All right, so today I will be demonstrating a CBT activity called Feelings Thermometer, or in this case, it will be Feelings Building or Blocks. Um, This technique helps children identify their emotions, understand the intensity of their emotions, and choose coping skills using play. Okay. So, the theoretical approach and stage of play. This activity is grounded in CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, which blends CBT skill building with expressive play techniques. It is typically used during the working stage of therapy, after rapport and safety is built with the client or student. This activity also is intended to be multicultural faceted. I'm using diverse play figurines and materials that reflect cultural identities in the students that I serve or other students that I serve. Um, Following the recommendations of Chung Ray and Aguilar, and of course Turner, 2023, representation helps children feel seen, included, and safe emotionally in the therapeutic space. So I have a Barbie. I have a annoyed looking man. And then I also have a tan soft doll and a rabbit. Okay. So the goal of this activity is to help children understand their emotional intensity and connect each level with a coping strategy or skill. By the end of the activity, the student or children will be able to, number one, identify which color zone matches how big their feelings are, and choose a coping skill based on their emotional intensity, which is number two. The materials needed for this demonstration are the feelings blocks with the colors. Reading low, medium, ready, and high. I have a few scenario cards on my dry erase marker and just like extra sticky notes for me to write, take down notes and things. Especially like, and these materials are easily accessible and like DIY, especially in the school setting with low budgets. Okay, experimental and verbal components. So this intervention uses both experimental and verbal components. The experimental components include children physically being able to move the characters on the thermometer or the blocks throughout the blocks and act out the scenes. Acting out the scenes, like kicking, being mad, so forth and so forth. Verbal, children have or then be able to name the emotion, describe the body cues, and explore coping skills that help connect thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in a student centered way. Okay, demonstration. Step one. This is our thermometer. This is the main thing we're using here. This is the feelings blocks, not the thermometer. I'm just having a thermometer. Feelings blocks with the colors blue, green, yellow, and red. Blue is sad or low energy. Green is calm, okay, and I'm ready for the day. Yellow is I'm frustrated, worried, anxious, like something's happening. Red is I need help, I'm angry, overwhelmed, out of control, or stop. These are the figurines. Our characters, our little helpers for today. Sorry, she looks a little crazy. She's ready. This is our girl. It's our rabbit friend. It's our other lady friend. And then we also have like an annoyed little ball man. He's here with us. These are our friends. These are our helpers for today. So for this, I'm going to use Barbie. Okay. So with our scenario card, we're going to use the scenario of a friend not wanting to play. So Barbie is at lunch and they're transitioning to recess, right? Someone took your seat at lunch and you're trying to play with them and be a good friend and just setting up the scene. Barbie, try to play with them and be a good friend. They're like, no, I don't want to play. And then they took her seat at lunch and they just kind of brushed her off. So I would ask the child, what would Barbie or what emotion or color would Barbie be on the block? What block represents how Barbie feels about her friend brushing her off and taking her seat at lunch, not wanting to be her friend, and just kind of brushing her off? What color or what block would Barbie be on? Like, what emotion would she be in? And then the child or the student would say, okay, Barbie would be like most likely irritated, right? So she'll be like at a yellow. And then I would ask the student, how does Barbie's body feel on a yellow? What does yellow look like in Barbie's body? So they might say her tummy might hurt, her hair might itch, her hands might be sweaty, she might tap her feet, right? So that, and then I would go in with the child. Then I would go through with the child like coping skills and things, especially school appropriate ones, right? So we can ask to take a break, we can ask to get water, we can count to 10, 20, 30. We can ask to maybe get an additional snack. Maybe we need additional snack, get some water, deep breaths, those type of things. And or if the anxiety or worry or the embarrassment or guilt or whatever the feeling that the child mentioned in the yellow zone is big enough, they can definitely ask for an adult's assistance with emotional regulation. So then me and the student or me and the child will practice the seal together, right? So if it's the taking a deep breath, okay. So we'll take deep breath in, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, out. Again, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out. So we'll do those guided deep breaths together. And then we'll process that activity. So I'll ask as the clinician, what helped Barbie calm down? So what helped Barbie go from a medium energy or embarrassed, anxious, medium yellow to ready? What can help her get from yellow to green? Because you want to be on green, because green means we're ready for the day, we're fine, we're starting our day, we're having a great day. So how do we get from yellow to green? And then identify the coping skill. I might ask the question of, has something like this ever happened to you at school? How did you deal with that? When you're in yellow or red zone, what helps you feel better? What things do you do? What coping strategy would you try or like to try next time? And these questions, obviously can help the student in real life application, outside of school, and things like that. So for best results, I recommend using culturally relevant scenarios the best match the child's world. Obviously, when I'm working with the student, I will ask them, hey, or just get to know them and get some background on them and their natural environment in the classroom, especially if I am trying to target a student who has high behavioral issues or has or needs a lot of attention throughout the school day. I will do a raw observation and I will take that raw observation tips and tricks and things and apply that when they are needing that one-on-one attention, right? So it's like those I'm able to hit those distracting behaviors in a one-on-one setting because I'm using them as the example or as a scenario when we are having a one-on-one time, when they seek that one-on-one time with me. So And in closing, thank you so much for staying and sticking through this video. I know it's echoey, and my video is quality is not good. But thank you for watching today's demonstration of the feelings blocks, application of coping skills, and hanging out with me and Barbie. This activity is very simple, culturally responsive, and effective in helping children understand and regulate emotions. And I think that it's also great, and like you can use different colors, different attractive toys. I've done this experiment with the Lalaboos, the most popular toys now. It's a attention grabber. I've done it with slime. I've done it with snacks. For my eighth graders, I've done it with a hot Cheeto, a hot Taki. It's just the little things that get and keep their attention, right? Just for them to understand the theme and the message and the skill, and applying that skill. Hope this was helpful. And thank you. Bye.